What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you Week 7 of the PFC Fantasy League here on the channel. Last week, we came back from our Week 5 loss by getting a 4-0 victory off of the Orlando Magic Hearts, now taking us up to 5-1 with a plus, I believe we are sitting at a plus 16 differential, I believe, which is the best currently in the league now. Despite all of that and all the goodness, this week is going to be our toughest match yet. And when I say toughest match, I mean this is going to be a match that's probably going to be absolutely... Actually, let me go ahead and go off on the side here. Pull up damage calculator as well so I can go over a couple things during the recording as well. Pull up the one specific damage calc that I want to look at. Alter it perfectly. Alright, there we go. So there's that one, and then we can go boom. Let's just go. Let's just go that one, and we can just change it up, make it that. Now let's go that. X that out. We'll do that. Let's go put that there. I apologize for all this, guys. I should have had this set up before the video started, but I didn't think about it until just now. Alright, so this week, ladies and gentlemen, we have our toughest battle yet, because we are taking on the second ranked team in the entire league, the second highest ranked team in the whole league, being Casey and the Pittsburgh Steelixes. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't absolutely terrified of this match, because Casey's team is absolutely devastating. Casey's team is absolutely devastating, and it scares the shit out of me. I don't like Casey's team at all. I do not like Casey's team. Not even the slightest bit do I like his team. It's too good. He drafted. I want to say he drafted damn near perfectly. I would go as far as saying he drafted pretty much perfect. His team works very well together. Overall, his team is deadly. 100% deadly. But man, I need this win. If I can clinch this win, I will feel so much more confident going into the rest of the season. I will feel 1,000% more confident going into the rest of the season. But basically, okay, so his team, I'll go over that now. His team is Mega Slowbro, Sableye, Jirachi, Gligar, Tentacruel, Ambipom, Amoonguss, Pavilion. Now it is Throw. That was who he swapped that one out for. Landorus, Therian, and Vaporeon. And let me tell you right now, that scares me. His team is really, really, really good. But as usual, I believe I have built a team of 6 out of my current roster that can 100% handle everything on his current roster. Any combination of 6 out of those 11, my team can handle in one way or another. The first mon we are bringing this week, which is the key I want to say, to our victory. The key to it all is going to be Thickums, the Mega Venusaur. Thickums right here is so important to this match. It is packing everything I possibly could ever want or need to take on Casey's team. With the moveset of Giga Drain, Knock Off, Earthquake, and Hidden Power, Ice. Giga Drain is there to honestly outlive any Vaporeon because we're going to smack that thing so hard each and every time. The knockoff is there because specifically for his Jirachi, which is one of the most frightening mons on his squad, in my opinion. I don't like his Jirachi at all. I don't like Jirachi, period. And I know it's coming because it works too well against my team. I don't like Jirachi. But with the knockoff, with the spread that I'm running, which I'll talk about in a second, with a knockoff will do about half if he's running a Choice Scarf Jirachi, which anytime that Thickums comes in, as long as Jirachi's alive, I click knockoff. Every time I click knockoff. I don't care what else he has, that he could switch in, I still click knockoff, knock the items off. It's still super effective on the Mega Slowbro one way or another when we outspeed that, so I'm not worried. I don't think he'd ever switch a Mega Slowbro in on a Mega Venusaur. I think that'd probably be like the dumbest play he'd ever make. But who knows? He likes to play risky, so we'll see what happens. But the knockoff does about half, and we're guaranteed no matter what he runs. If he runs a special set with Psyshock, we live the Psyshock. If he runs a physical set with Zen Headbutt, we're gonna live the Zen Headbutt. Let me check it right now. If he runs a special set and runs Psychic, even with our nature, we live one Psychic and we're guaranteed to get an Earthquake off and kill it. One way or another, against Jirachi, Venusaur can win. And that's an absolute necessity. We need to be able to beat Jirachi every single time. Spread-wise, with this spread we're running, the 76 into HP, 168 into attack. That's the guarantee that we do half with the knockoff. If we went any lower, we wouldn't do half. We would have a chance to do below, and then Earthquake would have a chance to not kill. And we can't afford that. We absolutely cannot afford that. 12 into defense just to add a slight cushion to the Psyshocks or Zen Headbutts, and max special attack with a rash nature. Now, even with that, now take into account, I did say even with that, we do live a Psychic. At modest max special attack, we do in fact live a Psychic if he does decide to bring that on his Jirachi. So, guaranteed, we can beat the Jirachi. 1v1, we beat the Jirachi. And that's absolutely key. And even if I'm not feeling dangerous, at least we'll have a Jirachi that's knocked down to half HP. If it's for whatever reason carrying leftovers, it will lose its leftovers, and we can easily double out into something that can handle Jirachi better and knock it out without having to waste HP on Thickums, because Thickums is key to taking on the Vaporeon, to taking on the Mega Slowbro, which we outspeed, to hitting the Sableye hard, to absolutely annihilating Gligar and Landorus Therian. Can also do decent damage to Tentacruel. Ambipom has no bulk to it, so it's going to get slaughtered. Absolutely slaughtered. Amoonguss doesn't like HP ices too much, especially once we knock off its Black Sludge. Vivillon isn't taking a hit. Throw is the only mon that kind of worries me, but I still think we have enough preparation outside of Venusaur to handle Throw if he decides to bring it this week. overall, Mega Venusaur can kind of handle pretty much everything on his team, and we need Thickums to come through for us this week. The next Mon we are bringing, he's making his season debut this week, being Megatron the Metagross. Metagross was a free agent scoop up that we got for week 4 when we dropped Gyarados to scoop him up, and he hasn't been able to see action. We haven't really seen an opening. There wasn't really any good spot to bring him into week 4 against Martin. It was just too risky with the potential of the Mega Charizard X, the Arcanine, the Rapidash, too many things, the Cacturne that threatened it. So there was really no reason to bring it that week. And on top of that, we kind of had and then week 5 against Andy. Again, no reason to bring it. Too many knockoff users, too many ground types, too many things that resist his stabs. It was kind of a moot point at that point to even attempt to bring it. And then against Chase last week, he does have Mega Absol, which, even though we had things to take care of Mega Absol, Metagross would have been absolutely destroyed by it, so there would have been no reason to bring it and risk that kind of our differential being dropped any lower. But we are running a full 4-move choice banded Metagross set this week. Basically, we bring Metagross in against something that we can scare out. We click any move and we do obscene amounts of damage to anything on his team. We are packing the Ice Punch, which will absolutely annihilate. When I say annihilate, I mean absolutely just destroy Lando T and Gligar. They don't like it at all, and especially Lando T with the Clear Body ability won't be able to lower our HP, lower our attack with his Intimidate ability. So we're guaranteed to smack it extra hard. Actually, let me look at that up right now. Let me see if Lando T can kill us with an Earthquake. Metagross. You all out attacker, and we're going to throw a choice band on you. Throw Ice Punch right there. Drop you to 50. Boom. And we're going to go Landorus. Therian, OU, choice Scarf. 50. Ew. He does have a chance to kill. He does have a chance to kill us. He has about a 75% chance to OHKO us with Earthquake, which is not very good for us, but we have things for it, and to be honest, if we predict correctly, we can catch it on a switch potentially. If he's not expecting the Ice Punch, so I feel like no matter what we do, Metagross is basically guaranteed to basically fuck shit up. Metagross is going to come in, and Metagross is doing about minimum half to everything on his team. He's either doing 50% or he's killing it. 900% of the time he's doing 50% or is dying to everything on his team, which is pretty much amazing. The only thing that walls Metagross is the Mega Slowbro, which at the end of the day we can take care of. We can handle it. I'm not too worried about the Mega Slowbro, in all surprise, because it's one of the scariest megas in the game. But honestly, I'm not scared of Mega Slowbro. Most people would be, but I see no reason to fear it. I don't fear what I know how to handle. So that's what our Metagross is packing this week. Ice Punch, Earthquake, Meteor Mash, and Zen Headbutt. The Meteor Mash and Zen Headbutt are there specifically just to be stab. with the Zen Headbutt also absolutely demolishing Amoonguss and Tentacruel, basically making them no longer switch-ins. Also, the throw. This is another one that completely handles throw. Zen Headbutt one-shots throw and on its best day. So I'm not worried about it. So we're good. We're good. Metagross can handle itself. Metagross can definitely handle itself in this match. The next mon we are bringing this week is Zanzibar, the Donphan, for our UU mon. Our first UU mon, I should say. We have another one later on, but we'll get to that. Donphan is holding the leftovers this week with basically 4 coverage moves, rocking max HP, max attack with an adamant nature. We want to hit hard this week. That's the goal here. We want to hit hard. We're rocking Earthquake, which does crazy damage to everything that's not immune to it. We are rocking Play Rough. Play Rough is there because we needed a move to hit Sableye with. We needed to be able to catch that little fucker on a switch-in. And if he brings it, I would say bringing that thing in against a Donphan is never the worst case scenario because you need to burn it. You need to burn a Donphan. If you don't burn a Donphan, Donphan's going to kill you. And that's never good for you. So 50% of the time, we're going to click Play Rough on switch-ins. We scare something out, we're clicking Play Rough. And hopefully the Sableye comes in and gets just demolished. The Play Rough will also hit the throw very hard if he thinks that the throw can wall me. We are packing the Knockoff. Knockoff is there to get that Eviolite off of Gligar, to absolutely decimate the Jirachi, to basically just clean the items off of his team and make them easier for us to handle later on, which is pretty much the only goal that Zanzibar has, is to come in and just fuck shit up anyway. So why not set him up to do so perfectly? The next move we have on the set, I'm kind of debating on. Part of me, see, why would I be running Rock Slide? Let's look at this again. Why would I run Rock Slide? Rock Slide hits literally just the Vivillon. You know what? I'm not going to run Rock Slide. I'm going to run Ice Shard. We did joke about it at the beginning of the season, and you know what? I'm going to actually do it. They said knock off Ice Shard Donphan absolutely shits on Casey's team. Well, in this case, it's going to, because the Ice Shard is the priority move to catch Leonard's T if it's trying to U-turn out. It can catch Gligar if it's trying to escape me. After we've knocked off its Eviolite, it's going to definitely do some serious damage. It's definitely there to avoid Sleep Powders and substitutes from the Vivillon. Which actually, now that I'm thinking about it, in all honesty, Zanzibar goes out there. Vivillon comes. If I get a kill with Zanzibar, Vivillon comes in for free, fires up a Sleep Powder, and starts Quiver Dancing. Do I want leftovers? Do I really want the leftovers? Let me look at this again. You know what? I feel good. I feel better about this now. I'm gonna give Zanzibar the safety goggles, because then if Vivillon comes in, I guarantee you it's most likely going to be sashed. We can hit it with an Ice Shard. He's going to most likely be going for the Sleep Powder, so that then he can start setting up with Quiver Dances, and we really can't do anything to stop him from that point. And then from that, if he goes for the Sleep Powder, we have the safety goggles. He can't put Zanzibar to sleep. He can't set up on Zanzibar, meaning Zanzibar gets an easy, quick kill on the Vivillon. I do now that I look at that, I do need to have a mon like this with the safety goggles to cover that clear potential strategy that most likely Casey could be running, and I personally don't want to deal with it. So we're gonna go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna definitely 100%. We're gonna run with this. We're gonna do what we can do with it. Absolutely, yes. We're gonna safety goggles, Dawn fan. That's the thing. That's the plan. All right, good. Next mon for our RU mon, the tried and true Fleshlight, the Electros. Fleshlight is an absolute monster, and every single week he has proven his worth. Last week, eating a +3 Scald from a Manaphy, and then closing out the match with the hidden power grounds on the Jolteon, while the Jolteon couldn't do a damn thing to touch Fleshlight. That is just a taste of what Fleshlight can do, and I feel like this week is going to be no different. We're going to continue to run the Assault Vest variant because it's just too good. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You know. Even though Casey has 2 ground types on his team, we are going to be running the Volt Switch because having that pivot ability is just too good. It's just too good. On switches and such, we can just fire off a Volt Switch and get the hell up out of there and do what we need to do with it. In this case, though, just in case he decides to switch in one of his ground types, that really can't touch us, by the way. Make note of that. They can't really touch us at all. But if he, for whatever reason, decides to switch in his ground types, we do have the knockoff to get rid of items on switches. Again, we do have the hidden power ice for his ground flying types to absolutely annihilate them into the next dimension. I don't feel that Gligar or Landorus T. Let me pull that up as well. Electros, Assault Vest. Let me throw a hidden power ice on you. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's just disgusting. 95 to 114%. It's an 81% chance to kill a Landorus Therian, which, again, the most damaging move I see that it can do to me is Superpower, which I don't even know if Casey would be running. Gligar, let's look at that. You use standard Gligar. Hidden Power Ice with the Eviolite, mind you. With the Eviolite, still does 72 to 86%. Once the Eviolite is gone, because Knockoff does 11 to 14, it's 105 to 126. Yeah, it's guaranteed OHKO. So no matter what, we have a very, very good chance of taking out both of his ground flying types with Electros as well on top of it. And the Flamethrower, again, is also there to cover other mons that potentially could be switch-ins to Electros, being Amoonguss, Jirachi, Vivillon. Vivillon is not switch-in, what am I saying? But mons like that typically would be switch-ins to... And also, Fleshlight here actually... Let me pull up Vivillon as well. I want to see some things. Let's go RU Sleep and Sweep, because I feel like that's kind of like the set that Casey would like to run. Let's throw Bug Buzz on it, because that's the only other really damaging move that it gets. This is insane. Even if he does put us to sleep, he gets up to +1 special attack. Bug Buzz still isn't even doing half to us. Gets up to +2 special attack. Barely does over half. +3, +4, +5. He has to get to +5 to even have a chance to OHKO with Bug Buzz on our Electros. So Electros is our switch in every single time to Vivillon, because then, even with the special defense boosts, we still eat hits. Because at most he's going to get to +2. Okay, fantastic. He gets a +2. he's not doing enough damage to us to warrant us doing anything back to him. That's too crazy. He can't do the damage to us at all. That's insane. Yeah, honestly, Electros just isn't. Electros is just built. Electros just handles Vivillon every time. Electros handles Vivillon every single time and makes it so much less of a threat. Honestly, it just makes it less of a threat. I don't fear Vivillon. And nobody should, because it's a fucking little butterfly. It's easy to handle. Just do it. The next model we are bringing is also making his season debut after we free agent scooped him this week. He's our newest member, Boo the Haunter. Haunter is here. Haunter is being Choice Scarf. Now, why is Haunter being Choice Scarf? Well, with our strategy, we're going to be doing big damage to a lot of his team. We're going to be knocking his team down bit by bit. We're going to be pivoting. We're going to be doing consistent damage to every mon. So then what does every good team need at the end of a match? They need somebody who can come in and clean up the mess. Haunter is that mon. When it comes down to it, we're going to be knocking off Scarfs. We're going to be making sure things are slower than we are. We're going to be making... And at that point, once Scarfs are knocked off, Boo just comes in and we click... unless he still has Ambipom, which we'll handle by that point. But Boo just comes in and we click Shadow Ball and just win the game. Because we are running max speed, max special attack with a modest nature. Because that's all we really need. Because even if we had a timid nature, we would still be outsped by 5 points by the Jirachi. So there's no point in going for that. And that's more than enough speed with the Scarf to outspeed his entire team 100% of the time. And then we just click Shadow Ball and win. We just click Shadow Ball and Haunter just racks kills. Kill after kill after kill after kill. And that's pretty much about it. We're rocking a moveset of Shadow Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Thunderbolt, and Psychic. Basically, Boo also comes into play any point during the match where we see a point where we can bring him in and fire off and get a quick, easy kill. And then switch out to something else that can actually take a hit. Any point during the match where we can get an easy kill, Boo will come in and scoop up that kill or get off big damage on whatever comes in to try and save whatever mon Boo wants dead, basically. So Boo's looking to put in crazy work and really show why I decided to pick it up in the place of Driftblim this week. The last mon we're bringing is Infernape, 100% Infernape. Infernape is here doing the damn thing because he's a monster. Infernape is on our team because he's a monster. And there's not much else we can say about it. Now, I wouldn't say he's 100% a counter to Ambipom. He's not a counter to Ambipom. But we do have the Mach Punch, which, as I'm trying to pull it up here... Oh, you mix ape. That's what we're going with. We are rocking a max attack this week. We're rocking max physical attack. It's only 4 in a special because we really don't need all that much. Down to 50. We have a chance with Mach Punch. It's a minimal chance. It's like a 6% chance to kill. But to be honest, that's all we really need. Because if he's taken any prior damage, at all during the match, the Ambipom is basically useless. And even with a Life Orb, if he does get a kill, we get a free switch into Infernape. And 100% just Mach Punch. And he dies. Every single time we Mach Punch, he dies. Yeah. We're also rocking the Overheat to absolutely obliterate half of his team. Sableye, Jirachi, Lando T, Gligar, Ambipom, Amoonguss, Vivillon. even throw, they aren't appreciating an overheat very well at all. We are also rocking Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is there to hit the Mega Slowbro super effectively, at least. Get some damage on it. Hit the Vaporeon super effectively. And hit the Tentacruel super effectively as well. If we have to. If we end up in the situation where we absolutely have to face off against them, we have the ability to quickly outspeed and nail them with a Thunder Punch and get some decent damage off. The last move we're packing is Hidden Power Ice for very specific reasons, because Lando T and Gligar are still a thing. So we need to make sure that we have covered. I know both of them aren't coming. In no scenario would he ever bring both of his ground and flying types into a match, but having that there guarantees we have some way of handling them if they do come out against our Infernape. That is the team, guys. That's the team we're bringing against Casey this week. I am absolutely frightened. I'm terrified of this match, but at the same time, I'm confident that we, the Memphis Primeapes, can come out strong and pick up this win, which is the biggest win of the regular season. If we can prove that we can beat Casey now, then when it comes playoff time, I know we're facing Casey. I just know it in my bones. We're going to end up facing Casey in the finals. Because Lord help us if we lose in it, because God only knows we're not losing before we get to those finals. We're going to the finals, and I feel like Casey's going to be the one that we're going to meet there. I need to know that I'm 100% prepared to beat him in the finals. And if we beat him this week, that's going to give me all of the information I need to know that we can do it. It's stressful, but in the end of the day, we can do it, and we will do it. Memphis Primeapes are going to go 6-1, and we're going to kick ass. Here comes the battle, guys. Hope you guys are hyped. I'm PokePrimer, signing off. What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, primed and ready to deliver you Week 7 of the PFC Fantasy League here on the channel. This week we took on our good buddy Casey and the Pittsburgh Steelixes. Now, when I tell you that I was scared of this match, I'm not kidding. This is one of the most hype matches for me in the whole season. It went down last night while I was at work, so I couldn't exactly live record it, so I apologize for that. I do prefer putting up live commentated Wi-Fi battles for you guys, but this one's just going to have to be post-com, because, based upon the situation, it just couldn't happen, So, quick recap of the mons. I was bringing my Mega Venusaur, a mixed attacking Mega Venusaur. One change is Donphan. Zanzibar is not carrying the safety goggles. I opted out of that last minute in favor of leftovers. Boo, the Choice Scarf Modest Haunter. Mojo Jojo, the Life Orbed Infernape. Sentinel, not Megatron. I couldn't find my old Megatron, the Metagross. I actually traded it or something a while back, and I had Sentinel though. I had Sentinel sitting in the PC, so I was like, I'll just edit him and give him the Choice Band. So whatever, Choice Banded Metagross, and then Assault Vested Fleshlight the Electros. So without further ado, let's get into the battle. He ended up bringing his Jirachi, Ambipom, Vivillon, Tentacruel, Throw, and Landorus. Kind of not what I was expecting him to bring at all. I expected the Vivillon. I kind of expected either the Landorus or the Gligar, so I'm kind of glad that it was the Landorus over the Gligar. I didn't want to have to deal with Gligar's bulk. Tentacruel was a shock. I kind of more expected Amoonguss to show up. I expected Amoonguss and Slowbro instead of like Throw and Tentacruel. But you know what? Whatever. It's not a big deal. He brought both of his NU Mons, which is kind of interesting to the matchup. But again, that's to each their own. You know, hey, it did pretty well, so it was a good match. Let's get right into it. This is a 31 turn match, so it's still a pretty good match. So I decided to lead with my Mega Venusaur. Surprisingly, I was running out of time, and I just kind of threw Mega Venusaur out there to the wolves, and he leads with his Landorus. So I predicted him to just go for the U-turn here. So I just kind of stay in. I pop off the Mega Evolution, and I just click knock off. I just click knock off because I was like, you know, he's gonna U-turn out here. He's probably Scarfed, most likely Scarfed. He's gonna U-turn out, and then whatever comes in is gonna lose its item. So I was kind of happy about that. So in comes the Tentacruel, and I'm like, all right, this is decent. And I looked at, I didn't see it had any Psychic type moves, so I didn't think it was gonna do too much to me. Sludge Wave actually does a crazy amount of damage, and looking at this now, he definitely got. I think he got min-rolled there, because you're going to see in this next turn, the Earthquake does crazy damage to the Tentacruel. You're going to see in this next turn, I thought I would live with like 5 HP, but he does get he gets the max roll on the Sludge Wave and takes out my Mega Venusaur early on. So I was getting really scared at this point, but at this point, I just bring in Fleshlight. I know I'm going to eat any hit that this Tentacruel is going to go for, as he does go for another Sludge Wave. And Fleshlight takes like almost nothing from that, and I just fire off a Volt Switch and kill off the Tentacruel. So I do know at this point that I am providing him with the Switch Initiative, but I don't really care. I'm just glad that Electros was able to take out the Tentacruel. At this point, I just bring in Zanzibar, the Dawn fan here, as he brings in Baby Monkey, the Ambipom. And I immediately knew he was going to go for the Fake Out. I didn't really care. So he does hit me with the Fake Out. I'm assuming he's probably Silk Scarf Fake Out. He's probably Silk Scarf or something like that, because he's not rocking the Life Orb that is typically run. He goes for the Power Punch, which is really interesting, as I just decided to go for a knockoff, and then at this point I see that he's not Silk Scarf, he's Focus Sash. I'm just kind of trying to go through this in the way that my mindset was going. So he realizes he's in a lot of trouble here. If he stays in, he's not going to be able to kill me, and I'm going to be able to easily pick him off, as he does go out and do his Landorus, predicting me to go for an EQ, which I did in fact go for, which is a really good play on his part. Plus getting the Intimidate off on Donphan was really nice. At this point, I kind of like, I looked at his team and I really didn't need Donphan for all that much, so I just decided to fire off an Ice Shard. It's quite effective, and it still does decent damage, even though he's like, you know, -1 attack. And at this point, you know, leftovers are helping me out. The Earthquake did a lot, and you know, I'm surprised he actually switched here. I mean, I think he was fearing maybe if I got a crit on the Ice Shard, maybe I would have taken him out, but it's fine. I decided to just go for a knockoff, so I figured I could live at least in one more EQ, and you know, knock off his Scarf, which would help me out so much more later. He does go out into his Throw, which I hit with the knockoff and get rid of its Citrus Berry, which is nice. And then I go ahead and hit this thing with a Play Rough, and it takes a decent amount of damage. It's bulky as hell. As he decides to start going for bulk ups, and I got really scared at this point. This Throw is not a mon to mess with. Throw is scary. Throw is powerful. Throw is a complete monster and a half. But, you know, that I decided to keep going for Play Roughs, because if there's any mon on my team that can bulk hits from Throw, it would be Donphan. So I decided to just keep firing off Play Roughs, and it just wasn't happening. This freaking Throw is just sitting here and just being a dick. So at this point I decided, alright, well, unless he has knockoff, he can't really touch me, so I go out into my Haunter, which was a fantastic play on my part. Which was the right play to make, you know, trying to presume, as he goes for the Sleep Talk and gets the Circle Throw. Now, the fact that he switches out here pretty much guarantees me he doesn't have anything that can touch Haunter. So that was good knowledge for later. As he brings in the Baby Monkey, predicting the Shadow Ball, I actually decided to go for the Psychic, predicting him to swap, so at least be guaranteed to get damage off on anything, and then down goes the Ambipom. And in comes his Landorus, and I calced it up, and if he's running Jolly, he was running Jolly Scarf, which I'm not sure if he was or not, but if he ran Jolly Scarfed, he would have outsped me, and I didn't want to take that risk. especially if he had knockoff or something like that, which he does reveal right here. And knockoff would have killed my Haunter and would have made the rest of the match so much harder. And he probably would have that throw could have just come in and just set up on any of my mons and shit all over my life. As he predicts the player up and doesn't go into his throw, he just goes into his Jirachi, which was a good play on his part. Really good play on his part. He gets the attack drop, which is really nice for me. I'm not in a good position. I don't have my leftovers anymore. He goes for an Ice Punch, and Donphan bulks the shit out of it. That -1 attack saved his life. They get to knock off on the Jirachi, which is fantastic. And then Jirachi loses its leftovers, and I decided, I'm just going to throw off an Ice Shard. It's not going to do much with its chip damage, and a little bit of chip damage matters in the long run. So he's going to then go for an Iron Head, and down goes Donphan, which I'm okay with. At this point, I bring Boo in, and I know for a fact since his normal type is gone, I can just fire off a Shadow Ball, and I'm guaranteed to do damage to anything on his team. So at this point, fire off the Shadow Ball, and Jirachi goes down. So I'm feeling really, really confident at this point, and then he brings in this thing, and I'm like, I want to get damage on it ASAP. So I fire off a Shadow Ball, and I hit the Vivillon really hard, as he does go for the Sleep Powder. Now, at this point, I knew the Quiver Dance. I knew the Quiver Dance was coming. I absolutely 100% knew Quiver Dance was on its way. So immediately, I hard switch Boo out into our Fleshlight the Electros, who I know with the Assault Vest on him, I know he can bulk any hit that this Vivillon can throw at us with a Quiver Dance up. So he does get off the Quiver Dance, making him a little bit scarier, but at the same time, I know I'm good to go. He fires off a Hurricane, and look at the insanity of Assault Vest with Electros. Look at that shit. Takes almost nothing, fires off a knockoff, trying to avoid hitting that buffed up special defense, and it does take out the Vivillon. Now, in comes the Landorus, and now this is one of the most clutch plays Electros has had all season. One of the most clutch moments it has been involved in. Landorus goes for the knockoff. Now, I'm a mild nature this week, so I'm lowered defense, and he still lives with 4 HP, fires off the HP Ice, and takes out his Landorus. So at this point, all that's left is throw. All that's left is throw, and I was still kind of scared of this thing. So I just decided to fire off a Stab Volt Switch, get as much damage on this thing as I can, which it's a decent little chunk, as I just decided to go out into Boo, because I figured Boo completely walled this thing, and I was pretty much right. At this point, it's just kind of, I apologize for how the rest of this match goes. It's kind of just a little bit of a stall war, as I'm asleep right now, so he's just gonna keep sleep talking and bulking up. As Boo's just sitting here napping. Boo's just sitting here taking a nice little sweet nap. He wakes up earlier than he expected, as he's going for the sleep talk, and he's just bulking up. He's bulking up. And I'm sitting here. I'm trying to think now. I've seen all of his moveset, so I know he can't touch me. So as long as Boo's sitting on the field, his throw is completely walled. 100%, he can't do a damn thing. And he's like, I think he recognized this eventually, as I just decided to fire off a Shadow Ball, which does decent damage. It does very, very decent damage, and I'm happy with how it went. I'm happy with how this battle went. I think we played pretty well. Casey played phenomenally in this match. It was just a matter of I ended up having the right checks for what he brought, and enough things to handle anything that he threw at me. So I'm really happy with how the match went. It was at turn 31 that he decided he was going to forfeit. I'm going to spoil it right now. He does, in fact, just forfeit. He doesn't want to sit there and try to PP stall the whole time. And in the long run, I told him after the match that I did have Dazzling Gleam and Psychic as well, so even if I swapped out and lost one of my other Mons, it wouldn't have really mattered, because I could have gone right back out into Haunter and started firing off some super effective hits and eventually taken it out. But he didn't want to sit there and try to PP stall me all night long, and he recognized that he pretty much had lost the match at that point, because I still had I still had Electros, which did outspeed the throw. Once he ran out of rests, I could have hit him with something really hard and then gone out into someone else and finished him off, so he wouldn't be able to regain his health back. I did have Infernape, who could have fired off an Overheat if it came down to that. And I did also have Metagross, who could have started spamming Zen Headbutt as well, potentially getting flinches and Choice Banded damage off, and that would have been absolutely lovely and monstrous. But honestly, at the end of the day, basically at the end of the day, we came out with the victory, and even with the forfeit, I don't know if he was trying to preserve differential or anything, but with the forfeit, whatever Mons were left are given a death in the league, and whatever Mon was left out in the field gets those as kills. So it came out to Electros scooping up 3 kills and Haunter scooping up 3 kills in his first match on the team, which is absolutely insane. And just goes to show how good this little ghosty is. I mean, shit. But that's all for this week. The Memphis Primeapes are now 6-1 with a plus 20 differential, which is insane. We beat Casey 4-0. I never expected that. I wanted to try, and I expected like 2, maybe 3-0 at the very, very, very best if he played terribly. But he didn't play terribly. He played perfectly, and we pulled a 4-0. That is insane. So we're going into next week on a real high of momentum, and we are rematching Chase and the Orlando Magikarps next week. So that's going to be one hell of a match, because he's starting to really get into how this league's meant to be done, and he is starting to plan more and switch up his sets. So he could be a little bit more of a threat next week. And he did recently pick up Cresselia, which is also a huge threat to a lot of my team. So I'm going to have to really, really prepare to handle that. But your Memphis Primeapes will go into next week and prepare to dominate once again. If you guys have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Till then, I'm PokePrimer, signing off.